Wow! 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 Amazing! Oh.
Did you know many of the world's biggest gold discoveries didn't start in famous mines or remote mountains, but in ordinary places, someone's backyard, a small creek, or a rock nobody cared about? And here's the surprising truth. Nearly 90% of people who walked past those places never realized that gold had once been right beneath their feet. Clues. Not because they were unlucky, because no one ever showed them what to look for. Most of us grow up thinking gold only exists deep underground, far away, hidden behind heavy machinery and warning signs. So when we walk past a stream, stand on hard ground, or see an ugly old rock, we don't think twice. We were usually thinking about getting home, not about geology. But geology tells a very different story. While gold doesn't choose locations based on fences or property lines, it moves and settles according to simple natural laws: gravity, water flow, rock structure, and time. In this video, we're not guessing, and we're not chasing myths. We'll use real geological principles and real examples to understand why gold often shows up in places most people walk past without noticing. Because the real question is not whether gold exists around us. In nature, the real question is whether you know how to recognize the signs. Gold is not something that just appears on the surface. Most of it forms deep underground, inside hard rock, over millions of years. Heat, pressure, and moving tectonic plates create the conditions that concentrate gold in certain zones. But gold doesn't stay locked in rock forever. Rain, wind, ice, and temperature changes slowly break rock apart. This is called weathering. As the rock fractures and crumbles, tiny pieces of gold can be released and carried away. Now here's the important part. Gold behaves differently from almost everything else in the ground. Gold is heavy, much heavier than sand, soil, and most common minerals. So when water moves downhill, lighter material travels farther and faster. Gold resists movement. It drops quickly. It sinks, it settles. That's why gold is rarely found in random open areas. Instead, it concentrates in places where movement slows down. Nature creates traps where heavy material collects, especially gold. So if you want to understand where gold might be, don't think like a treasure hunter. Think like water. Think like gravity. Think like time. Once you understand this, the landscape stops looking random. You start seeing patterns. And those patterns tell you where gold is most likely to pause, sink, and stay. Now let's get practical, because gold follows patterns, and those patterns point to specific places. Here's the simple rule. Gold likes slow water. Whenever moving water slows down, heavy material drops. And gold, being extremely heavy, drops first. The first place most people ignore is a stream bend. Clues. Not the outside of the bend, where water hits hard and moves fast, but the inside of the bend, where the flow becomes calmer. That inside curve is a natural collection zone. Sand settles there. Gravel settles there. And if gold has passed through, it can settle there too. Next, look for quiet water behind obstacles. A large rock, a fallen log, or a cluster of boulders can slow the flow right behind it. That calm pocket is a classic trap. People see a rock and keep walking. Nature sees a trap and starts collecting heavy minerals. Another overlooked place is the base of a slope. After heavy rain, material moves downhill. The lighter stuff keeps going. The heavier stuff stops sooner. That means the lowest point, small dips, natural gutters. The bottom of a hill can become resting places for heavy minerals, including gold. And now the most important one, bedrock. Gold doesn't want to stay in loose soil. Over time, it works its way downward until it hits something solid. Bedrock is the stopping point. If that bedrock has cracks, grooves, or crevices, those are the strongest traps of all. Gold can wedge into those gaps and stay there long after lighter material washes away. So remember these 4 places: the inside of stream bends, calm water behind obstacles, the base of slopes, and cracks in bedrock. They aren't myths. They re-basic geology. And in the next part, we'll talk about the big question: how to tell if what you found is real gold or just something that looks valuable. Before we talk about gold, we need to talk about the things that fool people. Because in nature, a lot of materials can shine. A lot of rocks can look valuable. And if you know a few simple tests, it's very easy to get excited over the wrong thing. So here's the goal of this section: simple, practical ways to tell what you're looking at: gold, a different mineral, a gemstone, or just a pretty rock. First, real gold has a specific kind of look. It's not a sharp, mirror-like sparkle. It's more of a warm, steady glow. Gold doesn't flash like glitter, and it does look perfect. In nature's, it often looks slightly dull, rounded, or flattened. Now here's one of the easiest clues. Weight: gold feels heavy for its size. If you pick up a small piece and it feels surprisingly heavy, that's a good sign. Many look-alike minerals are much lighter. The most common fake gold mineral is pyrite, often called fool's gold. Pyrite can look bright and exciting, especially in sunlight. But pyrite is brittle. It tends to form sharp, angular crystals, and it can break or crumble. Gold does not crumble. Gold bends. That's another simple rule. Gold is soft compared to many minerals. If you can press it and it changes shape instead of cracking, that leans toward gold. Pyrite will usually crack or flake. Gold will flatten. Next, look at the edges. Natural gold is often rounded because it has been moved by water and friction. Pyrite and many shiny minerals often have sharp edges and geometric shapes. Nature doesn't usually give gold perfect corners. Now, what about gemstones? Gemstones can be confusing because some are clear, some are colorful, and many can look special. Clues. But most gemstones don't appear as bright, clean jewelry like pieces sitting on top of soil. In nature, they are usually embedded in rock, mixed with other minerals, and they don't scream for attention. And diamonds, let's be honest, diamonds are extremely rare to just find casually. Possible in certain regions, yes, but not common. If someone tells you every shiny pebble is a diamond, they are selling hope, not truth. So here's the practical takeaway. Gold is heavy. Gold does crumble. Gold doesn't have perfect crystal shapes. Gold often looks more quiet than people expect. And in the next part, I'll show you how older miners and geologists confirm these signs step by step without guessing and without expensive equipment. Now let's talk about how experienced miners and geologists confirm what they are seeing step by step, without guessing and without expensive equipment. Because the goal isn't to get excited. The goal is to be sure. Step 1 is observation, not action. Before you touch anything, look around. Ask a simple question. Does this place make sense as a natural trap? Is there slow water nearby? Is there a bend, an obstacle, a low point, or exposed bedrock? If the location doesn't make sense, the chances drop immediately. Step 2 is the quiet test. Does it behave like a heavy material? If you in a stream environment, swirl a small amount of sediment in a pan, or even a shallow container, you're not trying to find a big nugget. You're watching how material separates. Lighter grains move away quickly. Heavier grains settle to the bottom. Gold, if present, tends to stay low and move slowly. Step 3 is the shape test. Gold is usually rounded or flattened. It looks worn, like it has been tumbled. Many shiny minerals have sharp edges, clean angles, and a crystal-like appearance. Those are warning signs that it's not gold. Step 4 is the pressure test. Gold is soft. If you can gently press it, and it changes shape instead of snapping, that's important. A mineral that cracks, flakes, or breaks into pieces is not gold. Step 5 is the consistency test. Real gold keeps its color. It doesn't peel. It doesn't fade when wet. It doesn't suddenly look different from a different angle. Many fake-looking materials shine in one direction and disappear in another. Now here's the truth most people don't like to hear. One sign is never enough. Professionals don't decide based on one clue. They stack clues. Location, weight, shape, behavior in water, and resistance to breaking. When all of these point in the same direction, confidence goes up. And even then, they stay calm. Because nature is full of surprises, and half of them are the kind that waste your time. In the next part, we'll zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Where gold is concentrated around the world, why certain regions produce more, and what that teaches you about where gold might appear in your own environment. Gold also makes more sense when you zoom out and look at the big picture where it's actually concentrated in the real world. Worldwide, gold production is still strong. In 2024, global mine production was estimated at about 3,300 metric tons. And the top producers were China, Russia, Australia, Canada, and the United States. Together they made up roughly 41% of the world's production. Now here is something most people don't realize. There are two gold worlds. One is above ground gold that has already been mined, sitting in jewelry, bars, coins, and central bank vaults. The estimated above ground stock is over 212,000 metric tons. That sounds insane, but it also tells you something important. Gold is everywhere, just not evenly distributed. The second gold world is below ground, the reserves that are still economically minable. The global total is estimated around 64,000 metric tons. And the countries with the biggest underground reserves include Australia and Russia, each around 12,000 metric tons, followed by places like South Africa. So yes, gold is global, but it clusters where geology creates the right conditions. Now let's bring it to the United States. 2024's mine production was estimated at about 160 metric tons. And here's the part people love. One state dominates the whole conversation. Nevada is the #1 gold-producing state in the U.S., accounting for about 70% of total domestic production. Alaska comes next, around 16%. So if you ever hear someone say, gold is everywhere in America, you can smile and say, sure, but Nevada is doing most of the heavy lifting. And one more detail that's important for the way you think about your own environment. The U isn't just about what's being mined today. A U.S. Geological Survey assessment estimated total U.S. gold resources around 33,000 metric tons, some identified, and some still undiscovered. So when this video talks about ordinary places, streams, slopes, bedrock, it's not telling you that every backyard is a gold mine. It's teaching you the real rule. Gold is rare, but the patterns are common. And once you understand the patterns, you stop seeing random dirt and start seeing geology. Because nature doesn't hide gold with magic. It hides gold with time. By now, you can see the real difference between fantasy and geology. Gold is rare, yes, but the places where gold likes to stop are not rare at all. That's why so many people can walk the same trail, cross the same creek, or step over the same rocks for years and never notice anything. They were not doing anything wrong. They were just not looking with the right rules. So let's recap the rules in plain language. Gold is heavy, so it doesn't travel like sand. Gold follows gravity, so it moves downhill and sinks. Gold likes slow water, so it collects where the flow calms down inside bends, behind rocks, in low pockets. And gold wants bedrock, because bedrock is where heavy things stop for good, especially in cracks and grooves. Now here's the part I want you to remember most. One clue is not proof. A shiny rock is not proof. A heavy stone is not proof. A "my uncle said so" story is definitely not proof. You stack clues. Location, movement, weight, shape, and behavior in water. That's how experienced people avoid wasting time and avoid getting fooled. And let me say something honest. If you're rewatching this thinking, so should I start digging my whole backyard? No, please don't. Your wife will not be impressed. Your neighbors will have questions. And you'll probably end up with a hole. The smart approach is simple. Observe first. Learn the patterns. Then test small, calm, and careful. Because the real value here isn't just gold. It's learning how to read the land. Once you understand these patterns, you will never look at a stream, a slope, or a rock the same way again. And in the final part, I'll leave you with a simple checklist you can remember, so the next time you're near a creek or walking across hard ground, you'll know exactly what to look for and what to ignore. All right, let's finish with a simple checklist you can actually remember. Because when you're outdoors, you don't want to carry a textbook in your head. You want a few clear rules. Here's the first question. Does this place make sense as a natural trap? If the answer is no, move on. Gold is heavy and nature is lazy. It doesn't place gold in random, inconvenient spots for no reason. Second question. Where would water slow down here? Look for the inside of bends, behind rocks, and calm pockets. Fast water carries material. Slow water drops it. Third question. Is there a low point where heavy material would settle? The base of a slope, a small dip, a natural gutter where runoff collects. Fourth question, the most important one. Where is the bedrock? If you can see hard, solid rock, that's a good sign. And if that bedrock has cracks, grooves, or crevices, that's where heavy minerals can lodge and stay. Now, if you do find something interesting, here's your quick reality check. Gold is heavy. Gold does not crumble. Gold does not form perfect crystal shapes. If it's sharp, shiny, and breaks easily, it's probably not gold. And one more thing, this matters. Always stay legal and safe. Some land is private. Some areas are protected. Some places have strict rules about collecting or digging. The smartest treasure hunters get rich, they get arrested. So keep it responsible. Now, here's the final takeaway. Most people miss gold because they unlucky. They miss it because they walking too fast, looking too far ahead, and never learning what nature is quietly showing them. If you want, in the next video I can go deeper into one topic at a time, like how to read a stream like a map, how to spot real bedrock traps, or a simple beginner test to avoid being fooled by fool's gold. If this helped you see the ground differently, subscribe and tell me in the comments. What kind of place is around you? Streams, hills, rocky ground, or flat soil? Because once you know your environment, you'll know where to start looking and where not to waste your time.